Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, neighbor blames me for her husband's injury, even though she lets him wander with dementia. Anti-homeless Karen. Entitled trolley mom has shortcut access denied. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Neighbor blames me for her husband's injury, even though she lets him wander with dementia. Hey everyone, I've got a story that really shook me up and has left me flabbergasted at how entitled some people can be. I live next to a couple in their 50s. The husband has dementia, and it's really unfortunate to see him going through that. But here's where things go south. His wife, my neighbor, constantly lets him wander around unattended, often in my yard. Yesterday, I discovered him climbing on my shed in the backyard. Concerned for his safety, I immediately called my neighbor to come get him. She arrived but did nothing, just stood there watching as her husband then jumped off the shed and hurt his leg. I thought she'd be grateful that I'd looked out for him, but instead, she called the cops, alleging that it was my fault he got hurt because it happened in my yard. She was yelling and making a huge scene, saying I should have done more to prevent the accident. The officers were pretty understanding once I explained the situation and they saw my surveillance footage. They agreed it wasn't my responsibility to supervise her husband, especially when she lets him wander without any oversight. However, the nerve of this woman. She had the audacity to blame me for an incident she could have easily prevented by just properly caring for her husband. The entitlement is just mind-blowing. Now, I'm left wondering if I should install a fence or what measures I need to take to protect myself legally, because this is beyond ridiculous. Any advice would be appreciated. You need to call Adult Protective Services immediately. This man is literally in danger. And document everything. Save any footage you have, make copies of police reports, anything else you can think of. This man needs help and needs to be kept away from his evil, neglectful wife. I take care of my father with Alzheimer's. At this point, I can still let him do quite a bit. But if he were at the stage this woman's husband is at, and I just let him wander around, I deserve to have Adult Protective Services called on me. If she cannot handle taking care of him anymore, she needs to find a place for him where they can. Because he is at that stage where he is a danger to himself. I'm so glad you have cameras. Totally agree with you /Principal Gal. Adult Protective Services should be called immediately. If she's letting him wander, that's outright negligence. If she can't handle him, Adult Protective Services can connect her to local resources that are usually covered by Medicare to help. If he wanders and is displaying disinhibition, not realizing climbing your shed is bad, it's going to get much worse before it gets better, and he will need management so he doesn't hurt himself, worse, again, or hurt someone else in confusion. I wish you the best. Anti-homeless Karen. Today, I had the pleasure of attending my first protest. They are establishing a 24-hour respite center at Bathurst and Adeline Street in Toronto. Of course, the protesters were there, holding up their "Not in my neighborhood" signs. A respite center is a low-barrier, easy-access facility where you can drop in and sometimes get a bed to stay out of the cold during the winter. It's not up and running yet, but I felt compelled to see the protest for myself and hear what they had to say. I cleaned myself up, and one of my interviewees would say, "I clean up well. For your information, I am homeless." I went with an open mind, wanting to engage as a regular guy. I approached them and asked what was going on. They gave me the whole story. The Karen I spoke to seemed to harbor a strong dislike for the homeless, mentioning every stereotype imaginable. She talked about all of us homeless individuals as if we were drug addicts and criminals who posed a threat to her children. That stung. She explained how scared she was of homeless people, believing they are dangerous. She tried to get me to sign her petition, and that's when I dropped my calm demeanor. I told Karen, "It's clear to me that you've never actually spoken to a homeless person before, because if you had, you'd know that they are just normal folks trying to get by. Sure, there are some who are drug addicts, just like I'm sure there are plenty like you who enjoy a couple of bottles of wine with dinner." With that said, a lot, if not most, homeless people have the same mentality as those in prison. People who harm children or commit sex crimes deserve the worst, and they wouldn't last long once found out. I added, "Finally, Karen, you don't seem so scared of the homeless. You've been shouting at one this entire time." It left her speechless. I concluded, "Anyways, I have to go. I know I haven't changed your mind on anything, but I came here to speak my mind because we are just like you. There are a lot more regular folk becoming homeless, especially in Toronto or Vancouver with the housing crisis. That being said, any homeless person deserves compassion. Drug addiction or not." The study that Stanford University just did said that the new homeless, 47%, were educated seniors. And that's me. Anyone can become homeless at any time. I have been unhoused too, and had to live in my car before. I never knew where my next meal would come from, and it was very hard to find a place to clean up. It's a very scary place to be, especially if you're a woman. I admire you. Entitled Trolley Mom has shortcut access denied. I was shopping at my local supermarket. Once my trolley was full, I headed to the checkouts. The queues for the staffed checkouts were long, so I decided to take my chances at the quieter self-checkouts. I stood behind a couple that had a full trolley and had just started unloading. It was still going to be a little wait for me, but that would give me time to look at my groceries and figure out how I had exceeded my weekly budget yet again. The couple in front of me were both very tall. If had a basketball team, they would be pick one and pick two for me. Unpacking a trolley at the checkout beside us was a mom with a toddler. The toddler was pushing boundaries as little ones do, and mom was handling the energetic little boy and the unpacking like a pro. Behind her and beside me was an older man who was delighted to watch the toddler's antics. Directly across from this supermarket is an Aldi. I saw a woman exiting there and walking in a straight line directly towards us. She was pushing a half-full Aldi trolley and walking along with a boy who was about 12. I look around and the entrance to our supermarket is literally just 30 feet away from us, but Aldi mom keeps coming straight at us. I wonder if she knows the tall woman or toddler mom and she is coming to say hello. Nope, she doesn't know anyone. She walks up and stops with her trolley centered in front of toddler mom and the tall woman and then looks at them expectantly. I realize she is trying to walk through. I am looking at the space available between the two self-checkouts and there is not much. Two sets of trolleys with people either side is a close fit and there is just enough space for a slim person to walk through. "Excuse me," Aldi mom says. "Yes," tall woman answers. "I need to get through." "There is not enough room for you to get through," tall woman responds. "Can you please move?" The tall woman looks at her husband who is shaking his head in disbelief and then she says, "Move where exactly?" "Our lack of space to move is apparently not Aldi mom's problem," as she says, "Can you just move?" "I am in a hurry." "Aren't we all?" the tall woman says and she casually turns and goes back to unpacking her trolley. Toddler mom, who had stopped to watch, then continues to unpack too. Aldi mom looks from side to side with an expression that says she has never been treated like this before. She turns her trolley and begins walking towards the entrance. But not without her parting shot as she says to her son in a voice for all to hear, "Some people are just so rude." "Yes, some people are so rude," the tall woman responds quickly, "and if you are here to buy some manners as you clearly have none left, I think they are on aisle 4. The old man beside me bursts into laughter and is so loud people nearby turn to look. Toddler mom thinks it's funny and she laughs as well. The toddler doesn't get the joke, but when he sees mom laugh, he laughs too. Aldi mom's face turns bright red and she walks away as fast as she can. I love it. Tall woman is amazing. And if you are here to buy some manners as you clearly have none left, I think they are on aisle 4. But do they sell them for her size mouth is the question? Tall woman is a sassy classic. Manners in aisle 4. But I have a silly trolley question. USA here, so we say shopping cart, you can take the same trolley into different stores? What? If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.